In Trump's presidency, there's never a dull moment. When did Biden sign these pardons? Was it he who signed it, or was an Autopen used to sign pardons? How legal and valid is an auto-signed pardon? Isn't pardon serious business? Was he completely in control of his senses when he did it? All these questions are being put up by President Donald Trump of President Joe Biden, and only Joe Biden can answer, but who knows what state of mind he is in right now. This slide deck is going to examine what are the things that the president can sign with Autopen and what are the things that he may not be able to sign, and should the SCOTUS, that is Supreme Court of the United States, weigh in on the legality and validity of Autopen signed documents of the President of the United States. After all, he's the most powerful man on earth. There should be some seriousness about what he signs and what he doesn't sign. Should he not be cognitively completely aware of what he's doing? So all these questions are being asked now. I think this is more politics than reality, but who knows? If the thing comes up in front of a bench of Supreme Court justices, who knows how they would rule? So let's take a quick look at what has been the precedent of Autopen signing. Who started it? What are the ramifications of something like this? A small request to all of you to like this video. If you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Choose all. Can a US president sign with an Autopen a presidential pardon? We know Biden signed several questionable pardons. We know President Biden signed a lot of questionable pardons. His son Hunter Biden, Dr. Fauci, among many others. Now, are these void, vacant, and of no further force and effect? This is according to current President Donald Trump. Trump argued that since Biden did not personally sign the pardons, they are legally invalid. You know, there is a morality angle to all this. Unless you are fully cognizant, how would you sign some of these important documents, such as the pardoning of a particular individual? How can you entrust Autopen with that? That is a moral angle. But we have to look at what the law says, and that's what we are looking at. Trump repeated the claim on Air Force One, stating that Biden did not know anything about them. So here the interesting question is, did he know? When did he know? What did he know? How did he know? All these questions come up. Who else was in the know? See, this is a clever play on words, but you understand where I'm coming from. Trump's argument is based on political claims rather than legal precedents. What are the legal precedents? Thomas Jefferson used a polygraph to duplicate his signatures for efficiency to save himself time. Harry Truman was the first president to use an Autopen in the post-World War II era. John F. Kennedy also made substantial use of an Autopen, though it was not publicly acknowledged until Gerald Ford's administration. Barack Obama used an Autopen to sign an extension of the Patriot Act while in France. The Department of Justice ruled it was legally valid as long as the president authorized its use. This is where I told you, did he know what he was signing? President Joe Biden. Let's say we can go back and make an argument like this. Okay, he signed this particular presidential order on this day, right? Now let's go back to that day and look at all the videos which he was part of. If there's even one video that shows him infirm, then you can ask the question, did he really know what he was signing? That is the question here. The legality of using Autopen for presidential actions is known. The Autopen is commonly used for signing correspondence and ceremonial documents such as letters, greeting cards, Christmas greetings, signed thing. Yeah, we understand. Hey, thanks for remembering me, but at the same time, I understand that you used an Autopen to sign it. And certificates, military commissions, and routine government documents, symbolic signatures. Legislation signed with an Autopen is legally valid, provided the president explicitly authorizes its use, as ruled by the Department of Justice's Office of Legal Counsel. In other words, they have to actually seek counsel and get their okay before you sign it. Some argue that the president must personally exercise discretion when granting pardons and clemency rather than using an Autopen. Executive orders signed with an Autopen without the president's authorization could face legal challenges if it is proven that the president was unaware of their issuance. So tomorrow, if Joe Biden says, I didn't sign this, I didn't sign this, I didn't sign this, those things could become invalid. I'll give you a twist in this story. It's coming up in just a few slides. Just stay on. Treaty ratification requires Senate approval, and the president's direct involvement is generally expected in that process. Reports claim Biden's Autopen was used extensively for executive orders and pardons in late 2024 and early 2025. The Heritage Foundation released a report in March 2025 questioning Biden's engagement with these documents. Some of Biden's pardons were allegedly signed using an Autopen, including those for Hunter Biden. This is a little bit in the air. People think that that might have been hand signed. Anthony Fauci was Autopen, General Mark Milley, Autopen, and members of the Jan 6 committee such as Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, and Benny Thompson. I think at least one of them is a Republican Party member. Now, what is the legal and political consideration here on Biden's pardons? The US Justice Department ruled that President can decide the method of pardons. Federal Appeals Court in 2024 ruled that pardons do not have to be in writing. I hereby pardon you, not guilty. That's it. That's all the president has to say. No legal precedent suggests Autopen signed pardons are invalid. Autopen is routinely used for executive actions. The DOJ has upheld its legal validity if explicitly authorized by the president. The question here is, there were some instances where Biden himself specifically signed those things. For example, Ukraine aid package, he signed it himself. Critics also claim Biden's cognitive decline, which is highlighted in Robert Hood's 2024 Special Counsel report, raises doubts about his awareness of these pardons. If the staff used Autopen without Biden's knowledge, it could question the legitimacy of some decisions. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey and Trump's allies argue that these pardons could be challenged in a court of law. Already, there are murmurs that many of the visits of Susan Rice to the White House have been scrubbed clean from the logs. You think if somebody is actually signing an Autopen pardon, they are going to leave their footmarks? Most likely not. Potential impact and future legal challenges are there. Biden's pardons will likely stand unless concrete evidence proves that he had no involvement in approving them. For example, he calls a press conference and said, I approved of this one, but not this. So I'm recanting back all these pardons. But he's not in power now. If a president who is no longer in power recants a pardon that he gave while in power, is that valid? That's another question for the law. So no court has so far overturned a pardon based on Autopen usage. But was there any pardon presented in front of a court? That's the other question. The debate remains political rather than legal, with concerns about efficiency versus presidential accountability. Future investigations may set clearer boundaries on Autopen use for presidential powers like a pardon. So there you have it, folks. I have a feeling this is going to wind its way up to the Supreme Court of the United States, and they will give some clarity on this, saying that at least moving forward, you cannot do these things and you can do these things. Let's hope at least clarity emerges for the future presidents of the United States. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.